All right, so doing a little bit of work on the KSRC, the KingMotors. We're doing an engine swap, so I'm going to start out with the body panels, get rid of that. Never done this before, so we're going to learn as we go. So we got two body pins, one on each side for the front part of the cage. And now here, you're going to have to get these Nerf bars out. So this is going to be two screws from the bottom and one up top. So that one's out. One more up here connecting to the motor. And now that bar's free. Pretty much the same on this side here. One more in the middle. Alright, and we have another one here. I have to squish through the little side windows here. Quite a long one. Alright, so that's out. Just have to wiggle the bar and we're free. So just putting the screws back in so kind of remember where they're at. Alright, so here I'm going to remove the spur gear cover. I'm doing things a little bit out of order because I'm trying to keep the complete roll cage together because the windows, I didn't want to have to take that out. That was a pain to get in. Alright, so I'm going to take that one tire off and we're good to go. So E-clip and then the spur gear comes off. We have a spacer in back. Throw that in the spur gear cover. Alright, so now that's done, we're going to start working again towards the cage. So here we're going to remove the shocks. It's going to free up our cross member piece, which is holding the cage down. Alright, so that shock's done. And now in back here we have the two lower screws, which are quite long. Those are going into the shock tower. And we have the upper screws, so a total of 4 to release that brace. Alright. Quite tedious. Unfortunately, I didn't have the long enough driver set for the drill, or else that's what I would have opted for. Alright, so top one and then the cross member part is free. Alright, so put those screws back so we don't lose them. Now we're going to make our way back to the spur carrier, or spur plate. One screw on each side. It's going to free that up from the housing. Alright, so here on the clutch, we have one long screw up top here, which is holding that bracket that I was talking about that I have to take out. And then we have another one here through the spur plate. And then another one at the corner here. So, should be relatively free. Now we're just going to work our way off to the brace. So 2 screws there, brace is off. And the whole clutch bell assembly is free. Alright, so now we can work on the cage again. So you got one long screw at the bottom. So the brace is going to free it up. You're going to turn it over. Remove the brace on this side. So one screw up top. Wiggle that out there. It's a long one. I have another one to the side here. And another one to the bottom. Gonna free up our cage. You got some spacers up there. One big purple spacer. Make sure not to drop that. Alright, so cage is free. All we have is 2 body clips at the back. Wiggle it off. And we should be able to get access to all those engine mounting screws. All right. Easier said than done. All right, so I'm going to put those back in there so we don't lose them. Throw that to the side. All right, so start gathering up our pieces, throwing in our parts box. We don't lose anything. All right, so that goes there. All right, so big major pieces are gone. So now we're ready to work on the clutch. Don't lose those spacers. All right, so it's free, quick inspection. Everything's good with the clutch bell housing. So we're gonna start putting the screws in, and just throwing in that in the parts box. All right, so now a throttle linkage and the grub screw above the brake. Now we're free to remove that. Throw it to the side. All right, so you got one bolt holding in the back here. Try to free up the exhaust. All right, so another long one here in the brake assembly that's holding the motor together. Get that out. And now we have another one on the opposite side. A little bit overkill. It's quite long. All right, so that one's gone. Ready to work on the 3 from the bottom. So we got a long one up top there with the spacer. Again, keep an eye on that spacer. 2 lower ones. They have smaller spacers than those. All right, those are quite tight. Remember, thread lock those when you throw them back in. All right, a little bit of wiggling and should be able to free up the motor. All we have to do is the gas lines, and it's out. So, looks pretty intimidating, but altogether, pretty easy. So guys, thanks for watching. Please thumbs up and subscribe.